Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. I realized what the problem with that low echo was yesterday. To be able to play the audio parts of the videos that I show, I log on to my phone through YouTube, and I have it playing there just so I could see whether or not the sound is working. And so I want to apologize for the echoes that happens at times whenever I'm going to do. So now I got the volume over there cut off. Without further ado, I hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate, love every one of you. Thanks for the support. Hi, Chris. Yeah, we do. We need to keep our tempers in check for this one. That is for sure. Yeah, we think. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, "Don't drop the soap." Even well, he's not in jail, which is unfortunate there, right? Hi there, sis. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. But let me read this pep talk on abuse. I had written this myself. This is not borrowed from anywhere. This is my own writing. Abuse affects our lives in so many ways. What do we do when we are too scared to tell? When we have trusted someone and they did not help. Sometimes someone asks, "What did you do to get punished this way?" Abuse is abuse. Abuse is not punishment. Abuse is torture, crippling, and debilitating. What advice would you give others to help them through the horrendous memories? Are you there for the person? Or are you part of the knife in your friend or relative's back since you may have turned a blind eye to it? Are you claiming to advocate against abuse but condemn the people who tell and share their stories? Do you want to be a part of the solution or part of the problem? Let's stand united and discuss ways in which we may help others. What ways have helped you in your healing journey? Are you in a constant battle fighting the negative forces within? Stop. Let's encourage one another. Are you an officer in the judicial system not doing your job to help the victim? That means you're not doing your duty. Your duty is to serve and protect. And this applies to everyone in the judicial system. If you are not there to try to help victims, then you're not doing your duty. You're supposed to be there for the people. You're supposed to serve and protect. How do we open the public's eyes so they can acknowledge and feel the need to help protect the children and our citizens? The children are our future. You matter. I might have a reason behind also on them doubting what's going on. Please drop this up. But he's not in jail, bucket list. So that's not going to be much good, you know? It's unfortunate. And when they know that he's guilty because of the fact that he's got a predator, he's a registered sex offender now. In Matthew 18, verse 6, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Fathers, do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged. In Isaiah 117, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. I tried to put a link up for change.org, and it was too lengthy. I think it would give me more of a problem. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. When he gets there, yeah. If they don't let him go again, and this guy should have jail time. And whoever, when you hear the full story, y'all let me know whether y'all believe that he needs to serve a lifetime in jail. Well, y'all go ahead right now, put a number 1 there. Right now, if you believe that the justice system failed this 2-year-old. Well, she was 2-year-old when it started, okay? So first I want to show y'all the change.org that y'all could go there and look for this petition, okay? It says stop plea deals for child predators. There's 104,147 that have signed this stop plea deals for child predators. I hope that y'all will go, whether you give money or not. Please go and sign this petition. So the issue, too often, crimes against children. Can y'all see this right? Give a number 1 if y'all can see this right now, please. Trying to get this up there. A predator commits an unthinkable act, and instead of facing the full consequences, they plead down to a lesser charge, sometimes avoiding the sex offender registry altogether. Then they walk free, only to hurt another child. One of the most heartbreaking recent examples is a case of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham. Her killer, Don Stephen McDougal, had a long history of disturbing behavior. Years earlier, he was accused of getting into bed with a 10-year-old girl and trying to remove her pants. He pled down to a lesser charge, enticing a child, and avoided having to register as a sex offender. Wow. That decision had devastating consequences. Because he wasn't on the registry, there was no public warning, no tracking, no protection in place to stop him from taking Audrey's life. A more recent case is that of Camden Dahl, a former BYU baseball player. He was accused of sexually abusing a relative from ages 7 to 12. Prosecutors struck a plea deal. Dahl pled guilty to 2 counts of felony injury to a child. That's all, felony injury to a child. While more serious charges were dropped. As part of that deal, he was not required to register as a sex offender. He received 180 days in jail, 8 years probation, 200 hours of community service, and fines, even though his abuse spanned years. Those are just examples among countless others. So many young girls and boys endure these kinds of crimes in silence, afraid to come forward because they've seen how often the system fails to hold predators accountable. It's time to change that, to demand real justice and real protection for children. I want to add in here, right here, my little 2 cents word right here. Parents, when your child goes to tell you if this relative hurt them in a way, please try to investigate. Don't tell your child, oh, he would never do that or she'll never do that, because it happens. Women do it too. It's not only men that do this to children, there's women that do this to children too. And it happens to both men, boys and girls. The kind of plea deals offered to these perpetrators rob children and their families of full justice. They let predators avoid accountability, evade sex offender registration, and sometimes reoffend unchecked. In that count, I think we need a law that we need to hold the judges accountable. Do y'all agree? That lets these perpetrators, the lawyers, and all this. In that case, we really need a law strictly when they drop it down to lesser and they make these deals. How about that they have to go to jail or something like that for aiding and abetting these people to be able to continue their predatory behavior? Unless they have to pay for what they're doing by letting this happen, it's going to keep happening, right? They got to face accountability for letting this behavior continue, in my opinion. We need stronger laws that protect children, not predators. No more plea deals for crimes against children. No more offenders slipping through the cracks. Every conviction should carry the full weight of the law with mandatory registration and meaningful prison sentences that truly reflect the harm done. If you believe children deserve better protection and predators deserve real accountability, sign and share this petition. Let's send a message that justice should never mean giving monsters a second chance to destroy another life. This is a sponsored petition. Learn more here. So let's stop sharing this. Let's go back over here to see if anybody said anything. Let's see what she said here. It's being a little fighting with me. Your mom pulled you out of the home, but when you got older, you wanted to press charges. She told you it never happened, and that you made it up. Wow, that is horrible, Chris. I'm so sorry you had to endure that. So right now, my computer is resyncing, so I'm having a little bit of a problem. So please give me a little bit of time. Okay, now it's back. Yay. So please forgive me. Okay, next one is this Travis County. Let me see. Hold on. I think the courts are the ones that are also failing the children. Exactly. You've got that right. Well, hurry back, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, you need to believe them. Now, there will be some children that gets mad at somebody for the fact that they get mad at another person and they want to lie or something like that. That's why I say do an investigation, follow up. Hello, Christina. Not only did she take that from me, she basically let him be free to do it. Oh, I am so sorry. Much love to you. Thanks for telling us, Christina. Appreciate that. If you ever want to come and share your story, we will be glad. You got some people that will support you here, regardless if you're in here. Yeah. And people that know are very much, part of the problem. If they know when a kid tells them and they continue on, I think they need to face accountability as well. But I don't know what happened to me, happened to someone else. Yes, well, you're strong and you matter. Just let that be known that you matter to us. You matter to a lot of people. This should have never happened to you. So this is where it said that the Travis County father of alleged abuse done as 9 child sex felonies. None dropped in a probation deal. Well, I seen one problem with the part of the investigation that I could see how it could have turned his way, unfortunately. But when they knew and found out that it was for true, uh, it was for real, and he is on a sex offender registry, they should not have dropped any of it. Facing a sweeping indictment in Travis County, a defendant avoided prison Monday by pleading guilty to a single count of injury to a child. I kid you not. All he got pled down to injury of a child and receiving 5 years of deferred probation. Wow. In exchange, prosecutors dismissed 9 felony sex counts, including of a child under 14. If I'm not mistaken, she was in between the ages of 2 when he started to 7. I'm not sure. We'll have to check this out if this is it, right? 6 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and 2 counts of indecency with a child. The court ordered him to register as a sex offender and barred any contact with the victim, her family, or minors. The victim's father, who said he expected jail time, told reporters the outcome left him baffled. According to KBUE, the defendant is a 37-year-old Richard Leigh Bell, who now lives in Lexington, Virginia. Y'all be aware. Bell pled guilty to 1 count of injury to a child, a third-degree felony, and accepted 5 years of deferred community supervision at Travis County District Court. KBUE also reports prosecutors dismissed the other 9 felony counts as part of the deal and that the Travis County District Attorney's Office did not respond to requests for comments. What the charge covers. Under Texas law, injury to a child spans a range of conduct and penalties depending on intent and harm. Intentionally or knowingly causing bodily injury to a child is typically a third-degree felony, with more severe outcomes carrying stiffer penalties. Do you not know when you injure a child that that child's going to have physical internal injuries the rest of their life? Do you not know that? How can you really say that it's not a severe outcome? How do you not know that, right? Excuse me, because children are made to love and nurture. They should not have to worry about being touched inappropriately by these sickos, these deviant people, right? So, family reaction. The victim's father told KBUE he expected jail time and said prosecutors didn't give him a voice in the plea process. Ooh, that is not good. Plea deals that collapse multiple serious counts into a single charge and community supervision can, unsurprisingly, land as a shock to families. That man should have a voice about his daughter. Probation and registration explained. Deferred probation, also known as deferred adjudication or community supervision, suspends a conviction while the defendant serves a term of supervision. Violations can trigger revocation and prison time. Texas law limits judge-ordered community supervision for certain violent or sexual offenses against children and allowed judges to set child safety zones and other special conditions when an offense involves a child. Reports to court also required failed to register as a sex offender. State rules for registration are detailed in Chapter 62 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, there's some people I've seen that were on the sex offender registry but for a limited amount of time. That's not right either. Okay. So now let's go to this man accused. To see, what do you have to say here, Christina? Yeah, it is. Wow, ain't it? It's horrible. I'm sorry you endured that. Your innocence is taken, and then nobody is believing you. Your voice is silenced. You feel like these people that's supposed to be taking care of you, they didn't, right? They didn't take care of you to protect you, to make sure you wouldn't continue being violated. I'm so sorry for that, Christina. From one victim to another, I was victimized as well. My parents were the ones that actually took me around and started selling me at an early age and stuff. Child porn, child sex trafficking. So I understand all too well. The man accused of multiple sex crimes in Travis County gets probation instead of prison. I'm sorry, I like to go to different news articles because sometimes there's a slight bit more in the story than a previous news article. So I like to check it out. And that's where I got this other picture too. Prosecutors dropped 9 felony charges against Richard Leigh Bell in exchange for a guilty plea to a lesser charge. Richard Leigh Bell, after reaching a plea bargain with Travis County prosecutors on Monday. A Travis County family is stunned after an accused child predator avoids being prosecuted on multiple charges of sex crimes against a child. Richard Leigh Bell walked out on a Travis, I mean, excuse me, Richard Leigh Bell walked out of a Travis County District Court on Monday after reaching a plea bargain with Travis County prosecutors. Bell was originally indicted on 9 felony charges that include continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14. Continuous. It's not a one or two type of thing, that's bad enough, right? That's bad enough, a one-time thing, right? But continually. 6 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child. 2 counts of indecency with a child. But prosecutors agreed to dismiss those charges against Bell for his plea of guilty to 1 count of injury to a child, a third-degree felony. So if you've got the evidence enough that shows that he needs to be on the sex offender registry, why are you even offering a plea deal? Yeah, okay, it's going to cost the courts more money to go through the court system, but justice will be served. When you do these plea deals, justice is not served. And as me and someone else discussed a little bit ago, because he was violated by a police officer in Alabama. Excuse me. I'm taking my breath. Just hold on. Because I get mad at these perpetrators to serve and protect. And when I see the car goes by, I do a little laugh like, to serve and protect whom? Oh, yeah, yourselves, right? KBUE spoke to the victim's father outside the 395th District Court following the sentencing. He says prosecutors didn't give him a say on the plea bargain they offered to Leigh. I was outraged to find out that this was not only our first and last plea deal, but this was our deal whether I liked it or not, the father said. Prosecutors have filed a notice of the existence of potential exculpatory impeachment or mitigating information in early October. The notice states that during a phone conversation, this is what did it. This is what messed it up, okay? The notice states that during a phone conversation with witnesses, they expressed concern the defendant might retaliate against another witness, and one of the witnesses said something to the effect of, he knows it was us that framed him. I mean, turned him in. So they said that in a recording of talking to him, that they know they framed him. I wonder if they have got the evidence proven that that was said, okay? I wonder if they got the recording that said that, right? And sometimes out of nervousness, some people might say that, right? But the child has got the injuries. The child has got the scars. Okay, you might think the child's happy-go-lucky, that it don't affect the child. Let me tell you something. I was so violated and everything. I did not know that things bothered me. I just grew up. I had so many blocked memories. And when I remembered it, oh my gosh, the devastation. And then some of the stuff I still got blocks. Thank God it's protecting me, right? From knowing it all. Thank you. But it does mess with the mind when you know that all these people, police officers, judges, lawyers, your own parents, these people that's supposed to protect you are not protecting you. Then you go like this, and it does affect the mind because it's like you don't have a say so. You're their robot. You have to do what they say or else, regardless. And now the judicial system is right there saying, patting the perpetrator on the back. Good job, well done. Good job, good job. We're just going to get you with the harming of a child, okay? We're not going to get you for these really sexual acts, the future injuries that's going to be lasting in their mind. And people ask me, said, well, how did you really know that it's for sure about what the memory when you were 2 year old? And I asked a doctor about that, a psychiatrist. He said, well, the brain is magnificent. So when something traumatic happens to you, a lot of times your brain takes a snapshot of that while it's happening, okay? And then it stores and files it away in your brain. You never know when it's going to crop back up, but there it goes. He said, there's the proof, because your brain does take snapshots. And for people who says a 2 year old will not remember, don't don't you dare say that it's invalid, because the fact is, as a psychiatrist had told me, that your brain would take snapshots of these heinous actions. And y'all remember this if you question yourself too, like, how can you really know, how can I really have known that at 2 years old? There's your explanation right there, okay? There's your explanation. I'm here to validate you, okay? 2 days after the notice was filed in early October, the plea agreement was filed from the court with the court. I say filled because it's filled of bull crap, okay? KBU spoke to the witnesses, and they say one of them misspoke, and the call note was a misquote after conversations about hypothetical defense strategies such as being framed. Oh, okay. So it's a misquote after conversations about hypothetical defense strategies. Oh, okay. Gotcha there. Oh, okay. So Richard Leigh Bell, 37, who now lives in Lexington, Virginia, was sentenced to 5 years deferred probation and ordered not to have any contact with the victim or her family, and is also ordered not to have contact with any minors, who will also have to register as a sex offender. Bell's attorney did not wish to provide comment. The victim's father, who we aren't naming in order to protect the victim's identity, said he was baffled Leigh was not sentenced to any jail time. I think any parent would expect someone to rot in jail for doing something like this. This was continuous sexual abuse in just about every way. He said, as time went on, I expected a realistic plea deal to be years at least, long enough to serve some time in prison where you belong if you have successfully carried out pedophilic acts. KBU reached out to Travis County District Attorney, which issued a statement saying, after the case was indicted, our office learned a new information that was exculpatory to the defendant. The director of our child abuse unit notified defense counsel, and the assigned assistant district attorney filed a notice of exculpatory evidence in court. After conducting an investigation into the exculpatory evidence, the decision was made that, ethically, our office could not seek a conviction on the top charge in the indictment. This plea reflects what our office could have presented to the jury for consideration. Excuse me, if they would have took it to court, we would have needed the full accountability of the conversation where that was put in there instead of possibly thrown in there, right? Am I right or wrong? You was 14 when you lost your innocence. It was summer 1980. I'm so sorry about that, Chris. You did not deserve it either. We put this further down. I got to make this screen bigger where I can see what's being said or done. But then I took care of me and my little brothers. Thank you so much, Christina. You are an advocate for sure. Thank you so much. And I'm still hyper vigilant about everything. That's great to know. When you got people that care. If you ever want to come in and share your story, feel free. And even if you don't feel like it, it's okay. Sometimes I like to have people come in here and we discuss some issues, and you don't have to show your face like I'm not showing my face, and you can be part of the panel and have your voice. Like me, this is my author name for protection. I know y'all might not want to see this part, but I think it's interesting, okay? Okay. Let's see right here. It's a George Soros and the protection of evil. The opinions expressed by columnists are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of townhall.com or nor my views, okay? I'm getting information and letting this person speak, okay? There are few crimes more evil than those committed against children. I might be a little biased on that, but only the most disgusting people in our population actually look at crimes like sexually assaulted children as something being no big deal. And I really think the FBI should be looking at those people's hard drives anyway. It's a crime that should be treated seriously. Anyone who thinks otherwise, well, see comments about the FBI and hard drives. Unfortunately, a George Soros-backed attorney seems to view things differently. Richard Lee Bell, 37, of Austin, Texas, stood accused of numerous sexual crimes against children. The charges he faced were 1 count of continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, 6 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a child, 2 counts of indecency with a child. In other words, he's someone who, if found guilty, would deserve literally anything the state of Texas did to him. Unfortunately, Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza apparently doesn't think so. His office entered a plea deal with Bell, where he'll plead guilty to 1 count of injury to a child and get 3 years of deferred probation. He'll apparently still have to register as a sex offender, but that's small potatoes compared to what he was accused of doing. What's more, whoever was responsible for prosecuting the case has to feel that Bell is guilty. Otherwise, why prosecute him at all? And I'm thinking, why? You know he's guilty, so why? There goes to show that he's on the sex offender register. You know he's guilty. So Garza, or his employee, figures that Bell did the heinous acts he's accused of, but they are going to put him right back out on the streets just the same. I wish this were an isolated incident. The Soros-backed prosecutors have a long and storied history of allowing criminal behavior to be perpetrated in our cities. Maybe not to this extreme in most cases, but can anyone who has been paying attention really be that surprised? It's one thing to disgrace on issues like welfare, abortion, gun control, and a host of others, but protecting our children and our communities from dangerous people shouldn't be a topic up for debate. How best to do that might be, but we can't all agree that anyone with a series of charges like what Bell faced is someone who belongs locked in a room where we throw away the key. And only a fool would believe that Soros will be so upset by this that Garza won't get his support going forward. For a long time, it was hard for me to truly wrap my head around the rhetoric about Soros. I just couldn't believe anyone would support people like this knowingly. However, the truth was too obvious for even my optimistic backside to ignore forever. Soros and progressives as a whole, despite screaming incessantly about the Epstein files, something that never once mentioned until Trump took office, especially when Biden could have released them at any time, are not interested in the suffering and exploitation of young Americans or any other young people throughout the world. They care nothing about that, and we know it because we've seen it 1,000 times at least. Progressive school boards and administrators protect predators in our schools by moving them around the system, or at worst, firing them in such a way that there's no blemish on their records, allowing them to go to other schools and continue their predatory ways. They defend pedophiles and create a new, less terrifying term. You could call them minor attracted people. All you want, but it doesn't change the fact that they're pedophiles who should never be allowed to roam free in our society. If Garza loses his next election, it won't be because of the progressive powers figure he's done horrible things. It'll be because of the voters were the ones who paid the price, and they're sick of it. And Soros will just keep on funding terrible prosecutors. I won't say that George Soros is still trying to destabilize the nation with his billions by backing destabilizing candidates. I'm just saying that if that's what he wanted to do, I can't think of a single thing he would do differently. Wow. Wow. What y'all think about that? Where his attorney was possibly sponsored by Soros. And I believe that so much about people not wanting to advocate. I say that so much also because of Where's the Voices? There's one teacher that's a sex offender. And my friends have showed me pictures, but she is not supposed to go around children. She's not supposed to be around teenagers. Yet, when the kids in high school, junior and high, were about to do some artistry type stuff, she was in there beside these teenagers at the school doing these art projects, and she is not supposed to be around our kids, okay? Yet they're allowing her to come in here, there, and do these actions. So she's allowed to go and have sales with the students also and be around more and more kids. What's the problem with that? There's so many in our world today that are getting away with these heinous actions. Why are you firing them? I mean, you can fire them, that's well and good. But how about the blemish on their records? The ones I really get angry at is when they said, "Oh, I'll leave without pay," but yeah, there's the people that actually got the proof behind it, and you're still wanting to pay the person. I know innocent unless proven guilty, but what if the teacher said, "Yeah, I did it," and you're still got them on administrative leave? How about taking away their permanent licenses from anywhere, right? Being able to teach anywhere at all, right? Now that Alyssa McCommon, she was a school teacher, and she got pregnant by one of the students. And now, the mother of the boy who was the father of the child, since Alyssa McCommon went to jail, They are raising that child. And it's not the child's fault, okay? And it's not the boy's fault, really, because he's still a kid. It's still underage. It's a teacher's fault. But it's a parent's fault if you continually let that person be around your child and you did nothing. It's your fault if you let your child continually go over there and spend a night with first-hand people, okay? And you knew these perpetrators were victimizing your child. It's your responsibility to protect your children, people. Love and nurture your kids. And it's your responsibility. If you don't pay here on earth, I guarantee you the good Lord above is going to prosecute you. Because it's better to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the depths of the sea than it is to harm one of these little ones. So you tell me whether God approves of that. All these people said, well, God understands. God forgives. You continue perpetrating and hurting our children, as God said, it's better to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the depth of the sea than to harm one of these little ones. So you want to believe the Bible or your own ideology that it's okay with God. It's not okay with God. God hates it. He wants us to be like little children, okay? He wants us to be innocent. And all these kids are innocent. They don't deserve this. They deserve the love and the nurture. And for this guy to even say, and I don't see an article on it, but this guy to even say, as a 2-year-old, guess what? She came on to me. This perpetrator, this Richard Leigh Bell, actually said that she came on to him. And she's 2 years old. What is wrong with the picture, y'all? Blaming the 2-year-old, saying she came on to him. Hold on a minute. I'm going to try to see if I can find that somewhere. Just bear with me. I'm going to put on a little music over here in the background because I'm going to show y'all the information if I can find it, right? So bear with me while I put on a little background music, sorry. I could even play a song that I wrote, okay? So please and no connotation. This was about the empty promises from man of my life. So I'll let that play while I'm doing that, okay?
Empty promises, believing all your lies, wanting me to sympathize with your lies, with your lies. I'm hoping to be loved, I'm hoping for romance. Needed to be held, give a love a chance. Well, I wanted to be correct. But with your empty promises, you crushed my love. You crushed my love. Thought that you were in.
Gotta find the predator. I wish it was easier to find, y'all.
I was promised loyalty, but I'm alone again. You promised you would love me to set my soul free. If our love was true, how could you break my heart? such a thrill because I trust you.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming in, Carlene, too. I see that. Thank you for bearing with me. Appreciate that. Okay, I found an article, so I appreciate it. And I think we're getting the information out there. A 37-year-old man named Richard Lee Bell was indicted on 9 felony counts, sexually abusing a child, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, 6 counts of aggravated sexual assault, and 2 counts of indecency with the child. 9 felonies, 9 chances for justice, and the Travis County, Texas prosecutors erased them all. They dropped every single charge and let him plead guilty to injury of a child, a third-degree felony. His punishment, 5 years of deferred probation, no prison, no justice, just a promise to behave. And wait until I tell you about the prosecutors that allow this. The victim's father says he was never even given a say. He was told this was a deal, take it or leave it. Imagine being that parent standing in a courtroom, knowing the person who violated your child is walking free. No real punishment. Every time this happens, the courts tell children that the pain is negotiable, that their trauma doesn't matter, that the system will always protect the predator before it protects them. It tells them they are not important. I'm sick of it, sick of watching judges and prosecutors turn crimes against children into paperwork. Sick of seeing families crushed by a system that causes justice. This is where he started a petition, right here, because this should never be acceptable. There is now, sign and share it. It's at change.org. Stop plea deals for child predators. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's see what it says right here. I'm trying to find more of it right here. Okay. Is this the one right here? 2 counts. Nope, that's still not it. I'm still, y'all are hunting with me, okay? Okay, who is this one right here? That's it. That's Richard Demon. That's not him. Okay. See all these predators? Okay, there's a Richard Bell in 2022. I'm wondering whether that's the same guy. So you got me. Let me go and see right quick. I don't know. No, that's not the same guy. Okay, that's good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Here he is right here. Come on, y'all. Where is that proof that y'all had said that? Okay. But I had seen somewhere on here, it's like Facebook might be getting rid of some of the information that some people put out here that said that he actually said that the little girl came on to him. Okay. I would not have said that had it not been true. So y'all know me. I'm really mad about that because this kid has no voice. The dad has no voice. I'm sorry I cannot find the proper information that I had seen earlier, but I tried. So why is this guy getting away with it? And he blamed and said that she came on to him. 2-year-old to 7-year-old. He victimized her that long, from ages 2 to age 7. This is ridiculous. The judicial system is broken. And y'all, we do need to try to get it. If somebody could write up a good thing over where there's change.org, write up a thing where we need to make sure that the prosecutors pay. Also, I like the fact about doing this plea deals, that they don't need to break down these plea deals, offer them deals. I like that. It's very creepy. How could you even look at a kid in a sexual way? I wonder, right? How could you even look at a child that way? You are a sexual deviant. And you know what? You really need jail time. And so do the prosecutors. So does everyone who did not give this guy a voice, the daddy. And so you're going like this and saying, like, okay, you got to allow it. Why are these predators still allowed to do these actions? So, the child, when she goes to try to tell, maybe next time she won't tell because, the guy didn't pay. I hope to God we need to continue to pray for this little girl. I hope and pray for her sanity. I hope and pray that she don't never get suicidal, that she's not going to be a victim of circumstance with suicide. Y'all know this is something that happens a lot of times with the people, the victims, the survivors, when they are discounted, when they're showing that their pain don't matter. So y'all, please continue to pray. Thank you so much. And it keeps getting on to you, Mr. L, about the. You're not spamming. We know you like the emotes. We love your emotes. That Nightbot needs to be behaving, don't it? Chris, if you're here, could you try to find a way, since you are managing mod to shut up Nightbot um, whenever you can? I would appreciate it. We love your emotes and stuff, okay? Thank you so much, our bucket list. And Carlene, thank you so much. When I went to Facebook a few minutes ago, I seen that you're here. I seen that you said something about Washington. Let me try to scroll up, see if I can find it, because your voice matters too. I'm sorry I didn't see it when I was doing this other. Here we go. The sex offender in Washington State here only has to register as a sex offender for 10 years. That's not right. And what's even scarier is the ones that we don't know are predators, because they keep being above the law for some reason when they don't have to jail time, Look at that Alabama state trooper that, in my story, right? Look at all the people involved that are judges, lawyers, and everything. My friend Charles Rogers that come in here and told his stories. And, his connections with them people being connected with Epstein. And that's where my own father delivered me to as well. So these people don't have to pay for all their things about having the children in cages, for murdering these kids that I saw murdered. They're not having to pay for all this. All these sexual exploitations, all these. They're not having to pay for it, y'all. Something is messed up. Something majorly is wrong in our system. When we're allowing somebody that works for the government, works with arms, that even worked with Epstein with arms, um, and he trafficked in his barn in Marietta, Georgia, and yet these people are not even getting arrested. They are still around to continue doing these acts. Since I was at least age 4 over there on that property. Okay? So y'all continue to pray for me. That's why I use an author name for protection. I will continue to speak out and speak above. I will try to, if it takes my life, I hope to God it don't, But if it takes my life, I would have been doing my duty and to getting the word out there. Y'all still continue to pray, have faith, have hope, because there's a lot of people. I think if us victims and other people that stand up against this, if we really came out and we petitioned, we did a lot more, but this needs to be stopped. This we need to stop supporting these people like I would not support even Governor Bill Lee just for the fact that he was helping support Aaron Solomon, who sexually abused his daughter. So y'all don't put people back in power who basically allows pedophilia. They might say, okay, we're going to get some of these people, but how about the people that you're sitting beside in church? How come you're not going after him when you know that he violated his daughter, possibly murdered his son Grant? How come you're not going after that? There's something wrong with the system when it's do as I do. Let's say, do as I say, not as I do type of perspective. What Charles Rogers, that's what he says. God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much. Let's continue to be a voice. You don't know how? We'll have to look into. I'll have to look into that. Might have to do it later. But we are not gonna. We love Mr. L giving us a lot of emotes and stuff like that. So even if they reprimand him, we're not going to reprimand you, Mr. L. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Be a voice for this lady. And if you, Christina, if you ever want to come on and do your story, feel free. You're welcome to. God bless each and every one of y'all. And you see this barcode at the far right? That is the barcode for my book. And you'll be able to take a snapshot of that. And that will be how you can actually buy a copy of my book. The name of it is Born in a Living Hell, version 2.0. It don't have all the sex trafficking in there. It's got just a rendition of some of it. And now it's not the time for me to write that book. First, got to do a book called Beacon of Hope, because I want to show people you can overcome. There's hope. You can overcome. Don't do nothing to yourself. That's actually going into the perpetrators. The perpetrators want you to do something to yourself, because that's another way of silencing you. Don't let no one silence you. God bless y'all.